The day is crisp in Washington, and a palpable tension runs through the corridors of power. As the motorcade approaches the White House, cameras swing toward the South Lawn. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky steps down, his expression deliberate, resolute. He is here to make his case. Tomahawk missiles, a symbol of American resolve, must be sent to Ukraine. The world watches. From the first moment, the optics matter. Zelensky walks the red carpet, flanked by protocol officers and dignitaries, the American flag fluttering behind. Reporters hush, satellite cameras swivel. He pauses mid-walk, looks up at the White House facade, the embodiment of US power. This is a stage he cannot afford to stumble upon. Inside, the reception is formal yet charged. President Donald J. Trump rises to greet his guest. Their handshake is firm, body language scrutinized by analysts in real time. For Trump, this is an opportunity, a chance to project global leadership, to assert that America remains central in world affairs. For Zelensky, this is his moment to turn goodwill into action, to pivot appeals into commitments. Mr. President, thank you for hosting me, Zelensky begins, his tone respectful but earnest. He speaks of Ukraine's sacrifices, of cities smashed by bombardment, of families torn. He reminds that Ukraine does not ask for war, only for defense. He appeals not just as a leader of a besieged nation, but as a partner, as an ally in shared values of democracy and freedom. Trump listens. His face gives little away. Every flicker of expression becomes a subject of commentary. He nods occasionally, arms crossed, then relaxed. When Zelensky mentions Tomahawk missiles, precision weapons, long-range deterrence, the mention lands heavy. Journalists in the room catch their breath. Will Trump make a promise? Zelensky continues, citing intelligence about Russian troop buildups, about threats still looming across the Donbass, in Crimea, in the east. He reminds Washington that delay only strengthens the adversary. He frames Ukraine not as a distant battleground, but as a linchpin for European security. If Russia crushes Ukraine, what stops it next? NATO, the Baltic states, Poland. Trump interjects. He welcomes the urgency, but insists on prudence. America cannot act blindly. He speaks of oversight, of ensuring weapons do not fall into the wrong hands, of verification. He recalls previous commitments, congressional grids, and the weight of American public opinion. He cautions that each weapon must be used responsibly, with accountability. As the two leaders walk into the Roosevelt Room, aides follow. Reporters strain to catch fragments. Strategic cooperation, defense modernization, mutual security. Behind closed doors, Zelensky lays out Ukraine's military modernization plans. He talks of upgrades to air defense, drones, artillery, and electronic warfare. He pledges to maintain strict controls over any systems delivered, to integrate American weapons seamlessly into his forces, with American advisors helping train. He notes how Ukrainian pilots fly American jets, now longing for American missiles. He speaks of battlefield successes, small, hard-won gains, but warns they remain fragile without sustained support. He stresses that American weapons would not be gifts. They are investments in liberty, in deterrence, in stable Europe. Trump listens, weighing each word. He asks about timelines, delivery, logistics. He asks about Ukraine's capacity to absorb advanced systems quickly. Zelensky responds, yes, Ukrainian forces are battle-hardened units already fight alongside US trainers. He details command protocols, maintenance plans, safeguards. He offers joint oversight. He promises transparency, inviting American personnel into Ukraine to monitor. In the main hall, the press pool returns. Zelensky emerges first. He addresses waiting reporters. I thank President Trump for the warm welcome. Our discussions were frank. Ukraine stands ready. We ask for America's help, not because we are powerless, but because we strive for freedom. We will defend our land, and through your support, we will do so more decisively. Flashbulbs pop. Questions fly. When will missiles be delivered? What assurances do you offer? Zelensky answers carefully. Negotiations continue. He glances once toward the White House. Moments later, Trump steps out. He speaks to the press. It is a privilege to host President Zelensky. These are critical times. We had meaningful discussions on defense, security, intelligence sharing, and the imperative of standing with those who stand for freedom. I am considering the request. The United States will act wisely, decisively. We will not be rash, but we will not stand idly by reporters' press details. He hints at further deliberations with Congress and allies. The cameras pan to Zelensky again as he departs. He presses his hand to his heart, perhaps a quiet gesture to Ukrainian crowds back home. The motorcade glides away. The moment is over, but the reverberations are only beginning. Behind the scenes, aides and strategists in both capitals analyze what the day means. In Kyiv, Zelensky returns to phone calls with his defense minister, with foreign leaders, with intelligence chiefs. In Washington, Trump meets advisors, the Secretary of Defense, national security staff, congressional leaders. Weapon request memos circulate, cost estimates are drawn, congressional hearings are scheduled. In Ukrainian media, the visit is cast as a breakthrough. Analysts debate whether this is symbolic or substantive. In American opinion pages, columnists consider risk, strategy, precedent. Some caution about escalation, others celebrate American leadership. In embassies across Europe, diplomats study every phrase and photo. Weeks later, on a cold morning in Kyiv or Washington, a crate of Tomahawk missiles could ship, or it might not. The decision will be judged by historians. But here and now, on this lawn in Washington, a narrative was written of urgency, persuasion, risk, and resolve. The White House steps settle in the dusk, flags settle in the wind. The world watches, waiting.